He hit the
Um,
transfer portal,
he
Jim.
hit the transfer portal.
Everybody's hitting the transfer portal.
Welcome to My God a Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I kick off our 7th season. We talk about everything that's happened since our last episode, even basketball and baseball. And we answer questions from you, our listeners. As always, remember to check out the newly redesigned MyGottaPodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at MyGottaPodcast. Finally, if you need help with your website or your online presence, head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs. Now, let's join the conversation in progress.
What are we doing? How do we do this?
We're back. We're back. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't
We're
know what to
back.
do with my hands.
We're back? Question mark. Uh, for the record, we did. We did. We'll get to some listener questions because we have some listener questions that we solicited back in April. We did get together like on that week when we said we were going to record, and we did talk. We even did like our meeting, but or did we? Maybe we just talked on the phone. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But we sometimes you just got to talk to your friend.
Yeah.
Eh, and then things got busy, and here we are. I don't know.
Here we are. Here we are, Jim.
Oh man.
I went through a move. You had job stuff. Life gets in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And like right now, currently I'm out of sorts. Don't have the usual setup. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sure it looks a little different. Not gonna have all the bells and whistles. I don't have the soundboard set up. You can see I'm in a Panda's famous situation going on right now. Because we're down at Fripp. Um we're we've been slowly moving Ella into her apartment in Savannah. So going through that this week.
Excellent. Fun times. Fun times at Panda's famous beach house.
On
Happy, I was just
Fripp
about to
Dog's birthday,
say
by the way.
today's a good day.
So happy
Now
birthday, Dad.
now I feel bad. Are we taking you away from birthday plans?
Uh, we're here, but they're not.
Oh, right.
uh, yeah. We spoke on the phone today. We sang happy birthday, and Munson chimed in. That's kind of his thing. We'll sing happy birthday to someone on the phone, and Munson like sings too. Uh, so we did that, and he was extra vocal today. So yeah, no, they're back at home and had a big day out today.
I know Panda was talking about something that a special meal that she was going to cook or something, right?
They did they ended up doing like a big lunch out for barbecue, and then I think they were like full. So I think they were gonna like table everything else
Tabled it.
to tomorrow.
Good times.
That's
So
how they
some
roll.
things have happened in the last 6 months since the last time we got together, Jim. I heard some good things happened since the last
Yes.
time we talked.
Yes. So okay, so we were our last episode was going to be the G Day review episode, which I think we usually make our season premiere. So I think this is our season premiere. By the way, season 7 of My God a Podcast, John. Can you believe that, since texting you the week of the Arkansas game in 2020 and us deciding to do a podcast, uh, we've made it thus far. And now we're starting our 7th year of the pod. Kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy. Someone was asking me like, "How long have you been doing it?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, have we been doing it that long?"
I know, right? Yeah.
It feels like just yesterday that Jim was telling me, "Hey, do you want to start a podcast?" So my instinct when someone asked me like, "How long have you guys been doing the podcast?" I was like, "Well, a couple years." Wait, no, it's been a lot longer than that. It feels
Uh,
just like yesterday.
I think my favorite version of that is in 2023 when we were going, the dogs were you're trying to three-peat in football. I think you like texted me. You're like, dude, the dogs are going for the three-peat, and it's the third season of the podcast. So we can be like the season, My God Podcast season three-peat. I was like, John, that'd be great, except this is season 4.
Ah.
So we got to that feeling pretty quickly. Um, but yeah, okay. So rundown of things that have happened since we last recorded, and we can hit these in various levels. Um, the Hoop Dogs. went to the NCAA tournament. It was back to back NCAA tournament appearances, which is not the usual for the Dogs. Also, I think weren't we like the only team to make the college football playoff and the NCAA tournament back to
Correct.
back years? Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
we had
think
that.
that there's something along those lines where it was, maybe we are a basketball school based on
Right.
all
Right.
that.
So we had that. We had G Day. We talked about that a little bit. Diamond Dogs, great season. Didn't end the way we wanted to, but had a great season. Definitely want to talk about Jeff Dantzler. Well, I'm going to try to not make this be like the Jeff Dantzler is the new play-by-play episode because like I want to talk about that forever. And like we just had SEC Media Days as well. I have some breaking news though, John, that
Okay,
I want to
here we
start with.
go.
And so I just sent you a text message with a link to a tweet by one Josh Brooks, our Georgia athletic director, and he is quote tweeting someone who you are very familiar with as a fan of the World Cup. So
Oh
for
yeah, that
those,
happened too.
so we had a whole thing. Had a World Cup. Hunter had another kid. Like a lot of stuff happened. Okay,
Shout out to the brother.
shout out to the brother. So good. Um, sorry, I distracted myself. Okay, so if you're not familiar, World Cup was in the United States, and we had like all these people traveling to the U.S. and there were several people who kind of like went viral, just for like, oh my gosh, like oh my gosh, you have Buc-ee's, and like, whoa, Taco Bell. And the guy who was seemed to be most famous and blew up the most, and I think you have some feelings about maybe some commentary, is this guy Freddie, who was here from Germany, right? He's kind of going around watching different World Cup matches. So he kind of took off. He has now announced that he's coming back in the fall, and he wants to attend like college football games. He wants to like find like different American events to go to. Josh Brooks quote tweeted him and said, "Dog Nation, help us connect with Freddie. A trip to Athens for a game between the hedges is a must." How do you feel about this?
I I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Freddie. I think that Freddie was probably the best thing to happen to Twitter, and the more and more the just unreal things that happened, like you know, he would be like, "Hey, you know, we're going to Texas or Oklahoma or whatever," and then all of a sudden he's going to Ella Langley concerts with Ella Langley, and it just so happened that she blew up this summer and all the music and all that stuff. And it's just like, I don't know, the interactions that he was getting, like the World Cup got a lot of tertiary, I feel like, exposure as a result of these guys that were on social media and Freddie being one of them. And I don't know. I kind of got, is he a Twitter plant, Jim? I feel like he may be a Twitter plant. A Twitter plant that's going to extend into the college football world. So I don't know. Maybe they've recruited him. I don't know. He was allegedly after the World Cup, he was going to shut down his account, which he did.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden he's like, we're back.
See, now I question, like, is the
Like,
new
dude,
account, is it really him? Is it the same person? Could it be a new person taking over the account? I don't know.
I don't know. It definitely seems suspicious, but you know what? At this point, if we can get some exposure out of it, which it seemed like that's literally what everybody was doing, was trying to help him and get exposure all over the place.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it would be interesting to see him come to Athens, which I have a feeling like when he because so he said in his original tweet that they had things booked, and the first thing that was booked was Oktoberfest in Helen, which I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, you're gonna go to Helen, Georgia. All right, cool. No, 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 no shade at Helen, but
Respectfully. Respectfully.
respectfully. Uh, but yeah, it's gonna be, I feel like he's gonna be massively disappointed because he's from Germany where they actually have Oktoberfest, right, Jim? I mean, I don't know. But the fact that he's gonna be in the vicinity in the fall, I feel like that Georgia would almost immediately have to be one of those things. And just so happens in October, Ella Langley, I think it's October. I feel like it's in October. Maybe it's September. Um, I think Ella Langley is playing in Athens around this time frame. And I know
Okay.
that because I tried to sign on to get tickets and they were sold out in like 10 minutes.
Hmm. Okay. Um, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like we already have our European ambassador coming over in British Bulldog. So shout out British Bulldog.
We already have a corner on the European market. Oh man.
Uh, okay, sorry. So that was my breaking news that I saw. I saw that Josh Brooks tweet during the podcast before the podcast. I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
I did see that I did see that. And it's funny, I saw Josh Brooks pop up because, I've got some alerts and all those things, but I did see Josh Brooks pop up, but I didn't get a chance to read the tweet. That must have been the tweet.
Yeah, yeah, that was it. That was it. Okay. We can backtrack now. Sorry.
I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun if he comes.
It would be fun. I agree. I agree. Okay, but like, you know, like over under almost kind of Coach Dribble thing. Like, but like, I mean, again, shout out British Bulldog. Like Chris ended up on WSB with Allison Master Angelo. Like, is Freddie gonna do that? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Based on all of the other media that he's posted, he's tried to keep his
That's true. He doesn't show his face.
yeah, he doesn't
Mm.
show his face on anything. So like I've been thinking like maybe we should reach out to him. Maybe Freddie would want to come on the podcast and talk about this experience, but the fact that he doesn't show his face, we would have to not have the YouTube situation.
Yeah, that would be like pre-YouTube era.
Right.
I think that would be taking a step backwards. I don't think we can do that.
We can't do that. Yeah.
Okay. Should we talk about basketball? What do we have more things to say about basketball than
I mean,
what we already said?
I guess the consensus isn't is
Basketball minute for Fletcher, by the way.
basketball minute. Yeah. I mean, I guess the consensus is Mike White the guy to get us over the hump because, you know, we I think we had better expectations, I guess, for lack of a better description for the tournament.
Yeah.
Like making the tournament is fine, but we wanted to get deeper in the tournament with the team that we had and the performances that we were having seemed like that we had better we had better expectations, I feel like I mean, not too dissimilar to the baseball. I think everybody kind of expected us to kind of at least, I mean, we were in the hunt, right? Like,
Well, I
but
said
I feel like we underperformed and when it mattered most.
yes. However, that was in the College World Series.
It's
So
true.
whereas basketball, like literally first round, and to get knocked out so like that game that I mean I know it was a long time ago, but that game was over before it started. And it was just like the game the year before against Gonzaga. So it's like to have that happen again, this time with what St. Louis, an A10, I think they're in the A10 team, like and honestly, like watching that game, I was like, oh my gosh, like these guys are good. And like I knew they were good, but I didn't expect them to just walk all over that Georgia basketball team. And the effort wasn't there. It was kind of weird. Like Wilkinson, even like his comments at halftime, coming out of halftime in the post game, it was like we didn't want to be there. It and like a player saying that, like that's not me saying that. That's was weird.
I think it also made it sting more because we had some departures
Yeah, including
after
him.
the season, including him. Like, dude, like what the heck? I don't
Yeah,
know. I guess it kind of underscores like, I mean, I'll just take a second and used that situation as kind of like the undercurrent of just you and I and the podcast before the podcast were talking about this. Like, yeah, we could go back and rehash everything that happened in the season for basketball, for baseball, but like, everybody's leaving, everybody's transferring. There's no connection to these teams anymore. And that extends to even our beloved, football team that we're
yeah,
kind of focused on here. And, we're even running through it like, yeah, I think we're pretty good with recruiting, but then like it seems like we've taken a little bit of a step back, the NIL era, all those kinds of things. Kirby has his approach, which seems like that we're focused on people that want to be here, and I think that's the best that you can kind of hope for right now, given the fact that some of these teams are just building these payrolls, for lack of a better description, that are just never going to be able to compete with on some, for a lot of these schools. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, you talk about like, I don't know who's still around, Jim. Like who's here? And
Yeah.
I guess that it's kind of like that. Like even after today, when you and I have this conversation, we could talk about someone, and up until the season starts, like they could leave between now and then.
Yeah. And I think it's especially true with basketball. So like if you think about how much things have changed in football, but it's I don't know, infinitely more like I don't want to say worse, but it's infinitely different with basketball, even as compared to football with the roster turnover. I mean, I think about this last year, like so much of the fun and excitement around that team was like Somto and Wilkinson and Jake Wilkins, Dominique's son. And like they're all gone. They all went to the portal. None of them are back. I mean, I think we still have a good we do have a good nucleus coming back in the basketball team. And like Kenny Catchings, Smurf, Blue Cane. I think you can build around that. But you have to relearn the roster every year. But I will do it. We'll do it. We'll learn it come fall. The dogs are going to play at Chapel Hill this year, by the way. Lily and I are planning to go to that. Anyone reach out if you have a line on tickets. Um, so we're planning to do that. I've never been. I mean, I've been to that campus. I've never seen a basketball game there. So I'll continue to support them, but I think it's just like the state of college athletics. We've talked so many times on the podcast about how I think obviously we mainly focus on football, and we say like it's a different sport now. Um, and it's just as true, if not more true, with basketball. Um, and I think what we were kind of talking about beforehand is I think it has kind of changed our fandom a bit. I think like I feel like once everything like when the ball gets rolling or whatever, you may kick off. Like when you're in the middle of a game, I actually don't think about any of that stuff. Like I'm still just enjoying watching my Georgia Bulldogs that I've always loved my entire life. Um, but I mean, it's changed my off-season mentality personally.
Hmm.
I'm not as locked in. I mean, like again, inside baseball, we're chatting before. It's like what's going on? And
Exactly.
and I don't think it's just that like we haven't been recording on a weekly basis. Like I think it's more than that. Like things are different and we're having to adjust. Um, I think part of it too is like let's be honest, like we're also getting older and like our kids are getting older, and so like things are changing and you think about things differently, but like it's just I don't know. It doesn't feel the same. It feels the same during a game, but it doesn't in the off season. Is the best
Right,
way I could
right. You're
say it.
just as passionate about, the game day, the game day atmosphere and the game day perspective, but you're just not following in the details. And frankly, like it would be almost, I mean, it feels almost impossible to be able to do it anyway. Like
Yeah. There's so much there's so much going on.
there's so much changing. Like we were like if someone, transfers tomorrow, you'd be like, "Oh, cool." Like whereas in the past you'd be like, "Dang, how are we going to replace them?" It's just like whatever, like we'll just line up with whoever shows up on day one, and we'll be cheering them on. I think I kind of mentioned to you like last season that my perspective is just enjoy the games, enjoy the atmosphere, and now you can just have a little bit more relaxation. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, side note, Saunders says that he is going to enjoy the sports without having to care about it. That's what he said. Which, to be honest, like that's kind of the perspective I have on college sports in general. It's like let's just enjoy it.
Do
Just
we need
enjoy it.
I feel like we need to give the listeners an explanation of what we just mentioned. A fellow fraternity brother, former roommate of mine, and John were texting as we were getting started, and I told John to ask him why he our friend Saunders quit the fantasy football league that I'm in with him. So yeah. Anyways, it's an old league. This is like that was the first fantasy league I was ever in. I once quit it too. I left and came back.
He hit the
Um,
transfer portal,
he
Jim.
hit the transfer portal.
Everybody's hitting the transfer portal.
Saunders, a little bit of, anyways. Oh man. I I don't think I answered your question that you asked me probably 10 minutes ago. Is Mike White like the guy to take Georgia basketball to the next level? And I look at it from two ways. I look at it from the lens of we actually went to back-to-back NCAA tournaments. Like, holy cow. I used to say, like, you do that, we'll build a statue, kind of thing. So, like, there's like the one hand where he's doing things that don't happen at Georgia basketball, and we should be super happy with that. The other
Hmm.
side of that is like what you said is like, yeah, but this team was like really good. And why did they just get absolutely waxed in the NCAA tournament? By the way, that's how they were ousted last year as well. So I don't know. It's probably somewhere in the middle, like most things. Um, could he do it? Sure. The bar is so low for it's like, sorry, Fletcher, like respectfully, like the bar is so low though, like
Right.
should we? I'm gonna borrow a Jeff Dantzler line. Shout out Jeff Dantzler, new play-by-play voice of the Georgia Bulldogs. He used to say it about football. He's like, dare to be great. And why can't we dare to be great in basketball? So
Yeah. I definitely correlate that. As you know, I'm not as in tune with the basketball side of things, but I do compare it to go back to the World Cup conversation. Like the U.S. men's national team looked totally different in all of their normal games and stuff, but
dude,
at the end of the day, we got waxed in a game that we probably shouldn't have.
Wood household had total U.S. men's national team fever, by the way. Like we were like I bought Kim like we bought like the USA like Truly like drinks, like they like had the USA logo on it. They had like slogans on them. We had them out for the games. There's one that tastes like a bomb pop, by the way. Shout out Truly, not a sponsor. But
That sounds
anyways,
amazing.
it actually was pretty good. Um, I've rather enjoyed the World Cup. It was fun.
It was fun. And then it's over and you're like, well, at least we had something to bridge the gap during these summer months where there's just nothing going on.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I would say like the way that the basketball team played during the season was, you're like, man, these guys are fun. Like I remember like we would
yeah,
text like that. It's fun to watch them. And then, you know, f- similar to, I don't know if the US men's national team coach is the coach that's going to get them over the hump, but um it definitely feels like I think that they're just talking about signing him to an extension for the contract. And if he does sign that contract, I guarantee you he will become the winningest coach in US men's national team history if he does that because
mm.
he's already like three-quarters of the way there, I think. With the most
Again,
wins.
kind of crazy. Which we
Yeah.
didn't we score like way more goals than like we've ever done in the
Hmm.
World Cup before too?
Yeah, yeah. We look totally different. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, Mike White had him excited and he's doing things that have never been done at Georgia. And I guess, the bar just kind of keeps getting elevated and elevated and football's doing him no favors. So
Yeah, yeah, true. All right. Should we hit on G Day at all? You want to talk baseball? Where do you want to go next? Steer us, John.
I think baseball's fine. I
Okay.
feel like baseball being the most recent thing, but G-Day G-Day is again, I think that it's the most underrated day on the Georgia football calendar, on the Georgia sports calendar. You know, we go out and we enjoy a day in the spring, and yeah, it's under the same umbrella we're talking about. Like, it's hard to look at what happened to G-Day because a lot of these things are going to change between now and when we kick off in the fall. So you
Yeah,
just enjoy it.
I looked at because I had notes about G Day before we were gonna talk last time. One thing
Hmm.
I wrote down was I hope Nate Frazier is okay. And like now I don't even remember what happened. I think
Yeah, I think he
I think
got
he like
hurt,
he
right?
yeah, he
Like he
got
kind of
knocked out
kind
like early, like the first drive or something. Um, but anyways, we enjoyed G Day. Kim and I went. Our girls didn't come. Uh, and we went like with my parents, my sister, brother-in-law. So we had a good time. I was gonna say shout out as always, Greg and Scott. for Great Tailgate, and then Scott for hosting at Twilight. So we actually took in Twilight Criterion was on the same day as G Day this year, and so we took in both. So we did double whammy with a trip to Creature Comforts in the middle. And saw your old roommate. Shout out Creature Comforts. Not a sponsor yet. It was a good day. We had a lot of fun. It was hot. I do remember that. G Day was very hot.
Yeah. The I think that I think that one of the takeaways was that I think Gunner's clearly the number one starter. Like there's just no there were delayed passes and things like that all over the place. Like I don't know. I just think that Gunner's definitely solidified himself for
Gunner's a
sure.
man, and I would say like we started to see like the videos trickle out of like, oh, Gunner's been working out. Like his throwing motion looks a little bit different. Like mechanics look clean. I can't remember. There was some video that was out on Twitter or something recently.
Yeah, like
Um,
he'd been working out.
yeah, yeah. Like he looked really good. Um, yeah, I would agree. I'd agree with that.
I still think wide
I
receiver room is going to be the biggest question mark on this team.
I agree. I agree. Um, I think Branch is a lot to replace. That's a lot of yards, and he was like an extension of the run game, basically.
Right.
Um, so although at least we get to see him as a Falcon. That's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I agree with you. But we're just gonna like line up all the tight ends. Um,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
the other thing, like I think like
13
this,
personnel.
yes, run the damn 13 personnel. Shout out dog stats. Uh, Riddell was like the story of the game to me in
Yeah.
G-Day. So
And he is one of those guys that I was hoping to see him more last year. That he was one of the guys that I had kind of earmarked for last year. So he's gonna have more availability to flash. I think Pro Throw was also kind of had some flashes. Um, yeah, I mean we're stacked at tight end still. So if you're if you're I feel like that this is going to be another one of those years where that we rely pretty heavily on the tight ends again. So
yeah, I would agree. My G-Day, my non like big name that people are familiar with, like G-Day star, and this is gonna be very hypocritical of me to say this coming off of our transfer talk we just had, but like freshman year even transfer Bryson Beaver from Oregon to Georgia, that kid looked pretty good. I don't know if you remember, well, and like everyone was just he kind of blew up Twitter, but like he looked good when he came in. I know it was against like the backups and everything, but
I just love it for the memes that could
yeah,
potentially
exactly.
come out.
Right.
But he did look good.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I guess he did he take away the Mr. G Day award?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. At this point, it's so far back that I can't really remember who that would have been.
Sure.
But we can go with Bryson Beaver.
Yeah. We've got some transfers. We got Khalil Barnes, who I think, if I remember correctly, is coming from Clemson. And then you've got the Canyon kid from Georgia Tech.
Yes, correct. Which to your point though, of like need somebody to step up at receiver. I mean, Canyon could be. I mean, he's at least a part of that equation.
Yep.
Sorry. Okay, so I laughed when you said Khalil Barnes came from Clemson. I just remembered a story that I need to tell you
Oh,
that
okay.
happened. If it's okay to move on, can we go off the rails momentarily?
We can go off the rails. It's our
So
podcast. We can do whatever we want, Jim.
fair enough. Noted. Noted. Okay, so I imagine we're down at Fripp this week. Um, when we drove down on Sunday, we came in like multiple cars because we're moving stuff in for Ella, and then Ella's car, she has a car, it's staying down here with her. Um, so Lily was riding down just the two of us, and we weren't like trying to all stay together. We had gotten separated, which is fine. It was really bad storms, there was bad weather and such and bad traffic. So we got off at one point of the highway. We were just taking back roads. So we're like taking back roads. We're somewhere around Orangeburg, South Carolina ish is kind of where we are. Um, we hadn't eaten anything for a while, so we stopped to get a snack. So we stopped at this like BP slash Bojangles in South Carolina.
Okay.
And so we park. I open my door to get out of the car, and the guy in the car next to us had just backed in, and he gets out and he just starts like yelling at me. He was like, "Hey, hey Georgia, hey Georgia, hey, go Tigers!" And like, so he's a Clemson fan. And he just like, and he goes, "Go Tigers!" Ah,
What?
it was so weird. And then, so then, I like, I looked at Lily, and Lily was like so confused. He just like keeps talking to us. I can't remember half of what he said. Most of it didn't really make a lot of sense. And then he was like, "Yeah, Trevor Lawrence." But then he goes like, "Hey, Herschel Walker, you know Herschel Walker?" I was like, "Yes." And he's like, what's Herschel Walker and George Rogers have in common?" And like, I wasn't thinking on my feet enough. I should have said, he probably expected me to say they both won the Heisman. I was like, I don't know, man. And he was like, "Neither of them ever won at Tiger Stadium." Ah, and he did like the again. So, anyways, he wouldn't stop talking to us. He wouldn't leave us alone. He at one point pulled like a set of Matchbox cars out of his car and tried to have us buy Matchbox cars. There was a Clemson Tiger plushie he wanted us to buy from him. So we ended up like we like left. Like I just like closed the door and like put the car in reverse. And then we're like trying to go in reverse, and like someone had pulled in behind us. And so we had this like awkward moment. And Lily goes, "Dad, make sure the door's locked." So we then pulled away from the weird Clemson fan. At one point, he said, "Like, are you scared yet?" And I said, "Should I be? Like, what is happening right now?"
What is
So
happening? Yeah, why
so
would anybody be afraid of you?
so
Other
we
than you're
we left.
freaking me
So
out.
I wasn't sure I'd bring that up on the podcast or not. But when you said Clemson, I by the way, I did work in that Sammy Brown is my cousin in the conversation. I did say that at one
Hey, you know
point.
Sammy Brown?
Yeah, and shocking. He had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh my gosh. Then you're
Like
not really a fan, right? Because
exactly.
he's like one of the best players on their team.
Exactly. Exactly. So, okay, sorry, we can go back on the rails.
Was it anywhere near Gaffney, Jim? Because
No,
that would explain everything.
totally different direction. Southeast of Gaffney. Um,
Just as bad though.
yeah, like Chuck knows what we're talking about.
I
When he
bet
listens
Chuck
to this.
does.
And I'm sure Chuck has run into many people like this in his times. He'd probably say that that's very typical.
Shout out to Chuck and AK.
Oh man. Okay, so where were we?
Speaking of Chuck, sorry Carter and I got to
Oh,
visit them, and we played some golf.
that's right.
Been playing a lot of golf lately, so more golf than the last year that I've played my entire life. So
Yes. I had a golf moment. I shot an 89. I broke 90 for the first time in my life.
excellent.
So that was fun. Did that down here in May. So,
Jim, I'm consistently not losing my ball. That's all I got to say about that.
oh my gosh, like that is a huge thing. Like the other day, we played. I shot a 105 when or no, I didn't. Sorry, my buddy did. I shot a 97. Doesn't matter. I played 16 holes on one golf ball, and like on the 17th hole, I tee shot in the water, took another one in the water, and I was like, so
You just blew up.
I played 16 holes on one ball and lost two on 17. So it was pretty fun.
Carter's been doing well. I try to remind him that Mr. Jim's been playing his whole life and he's talking about breaking 90 and Carter's shooting 83 pretty consistently now.
I wish I started when I was his age. That's the very much like the very old man regret. Like why didn't I play golf when I was younger? I could be so good.
Right, right. You'd be so good. You'd be shooting 83s and yeah.
Uh, too good.
I remember, sorry, totally off the rails at this point, but the other day when we were playing, he was so jazzed. He was like, dude, I'm on pace to shoot like 70 something, Dad. And then he proceeded to like completely blow up on the
Yeah,
next hole. Never
it's
say anything.
never say anything. It's like when you got a no hitter going, like
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
like that's my thing. And I'm sure it's harder for him because he's like playing actual like competitive like in tournaments and stuff. Like I'm just playing with
Yeah,
my
you played a
buddies.
cute.
So. I'm playing with my buddies. I just like don't even look at the scorecard. Like I'd
Right.
rather just like add it up all at the end, so I don't put for no reason whatsoever pressure on myself. Carter probably actually needs to know. So
He
shout out
does.
Carter.
He does. He very much does. He's about to go through, high school tryouts and stuff. So he's trying to make the team as a freshman, which is going to be tough. But
Can we take a
um,
moment and talk about the fact that Carter is going to high school? Like what is happening?
yes, crazy, crazy.
Sorry, Carter.
Yeah, I mean, when we started this, he was in elementary school.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and he was like we had him on with Logan and he's like got zingers going on about JT Daniels being a beautiful, beautiful man. Good times.
Uh,
Good times.
hopefully we'll still be able to. Hopefully he'll think that this is still fun. That he'll want to get on one of the episodes.
Uh, for sure.
But he
For
is a
sure.
teen. He's solidly a teenager now.
That's okay. Then when he gets even a little older, then you're like cool again. Uh, at least to some extent. Because
Right.
now Lily's like, oh yeah, like I need to give you my nugget, which if she can hear me, I don't think she was gonna tell me something to say, but she didn't tell me. So I don't know what it was. I will say back to the G, we can maybe this is the bow on the G Day. I do remember that she was on a school field trip during G Day, so that's why she didn't come. Um, she was like on a chorus trip, and she was upset with because she was like on her phone, like on the bus, like trying to keep track of what was going on with G Day, and she's like asking me questions. I'm like, oh, we're not even in our seats yet, and she's like, Dad, lock in.
Lock it down.
She's like very disappointed in my the level of attention I was paying to the actual game. It was pretty funny.
I don't even know you.
Just, what is going on? She was like listening to the game on her phone, uh, on the bus. So anyway, um, baseball,
Baseball.
baseball minute. Um, SEC regular and tournament champs, I would say can't be ignored. Um, you got the Golden Spikes winner and Dan Jackson. The bats were hot all season. Got some great moments from the team. Like again, like fun to watch, like sour power, all that stuff, everything in the dugout. Um, super fun. Like just bats failed him at the wrong time. Like it was very weird. The team that just crushes the ball all season just couldn't get a hit on a fastball, basically, in the College World Series in Omaha, and that was kind of basically it. I mean, I feel like in the past, like when we've run out of gas, would be like the pitching let us down. And I mean, the pitching I thought was actually excellent, even in Omaha. Um,
I mean, they definitely did
Getting
enough to where they should have had more run support than
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't
Lieutenant Dan. I, hey, we were making baseball gifts, and
know.
videos, so that was fun. I
That
was
happens.
fully I was fully on the bandwagon for baseball for sure.
I was yelling at my TV when Trey Phelps got ejected in the Super Regional or in I guess that was in the regular regional. Um, when he was just waving to his family. Like, what's wrong with that?
Seriously, dude, like what the heck? That was some BS.
So that got me riled up. But yeah, I admittedly am not a like as Lily was making fun of me about the football game. Like I'm not locked in, I would say, on college baseball in general. Um, but I definitely caught the fever. I mean, like I pay attention, I follow them, but I'm not like I'm just admitting it. Like I'm not like watching like every game. But I do enjoy watching them, and I definitely especially enjoyed this team. Like they were a lot of fun.
Agreed. So where do we go from here, Jim?
Like this is where it's like again to the podcast before the podcast is like, oh my gosh, like SEC, we're already past the SEC media days, like that already happened.
That's right. We have the mantra, at least the
Yes,
what I believe is going to be the mantra.
yes, yes. You want to hit it? You actually informed me of it.
We are uncommon, Jim.
Uncommon. Um, and as with all these things, Kirby and staff, I guess, they get into like researching other teams that have had success, and that's where they kind of look to find these things. And so they got this from what, Oklahoma City Thunder?
That's what they say. I'm not as familiar with what that was, but the video that they put out was pretty informative.
Yeah, yeah. What was it? I think generally it's about like celebrating the success of others. So like the big block that brings something. So not necessarily like just the touchdown scorer themselves. So I think Kirby's point was, celebrating others and what they've done for you more than celebrating yourself, and that like in today's day and age, that's not quite normal. Like that is uncommon to do that. So
Right.
that's kind of the background of that.
It was an artful way of hearkening back to remember the Mark Richt teams, like the
Hmm.
big team, little me.
Yeah, yeah, true. Very true. Very true.
It's a little bit more artful, I guess, and I guess eloquent, that he would put it, because Kirby's such a great orator.
He is like I
What
always
what you
say
you gave me the quote, like what was his exact quote
on
on the uncommon? Like he mentioned it actually at the
yeah, I tried to just do it, but I kind of butchered it. I think I said it better earlier, but it was the celebrating others more than yourself.
right.
Um it was that. Yeah. And that was that it's that in this day and age doing that is not the norm, that it's uncommon. That was the I think Dog Nation that put out a video for that. But it was from his time at the podium at SEC Media Days.
Yeah. I definitely haven't been watching too much of the SEC media days. I mean, I feel like I mean, just with the way the way that the sport is right now, people just don't care as much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I do think I don't know. Like there's just so much going on, and like now things get settled in a court somewhere, and like just today a Tennessee player got suspended for 2 games for like accepting like $400 for a plane ticket or something. Is like okay, like that's what we're gonna choose to punish someone for. Just seems, I mean, I'm standing up for Tennessee. Like what's going on here? Like
Yeah, what are we doing? What are we
um
doing here?
what are we doing? What's going on? Great Saturday Night Live thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just think yeah, it's kind of weird. Which even on that, like I would imagine they'll go to court for that. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't, the way things are going today.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to have a hard time justifying that when we're paying kids millions of dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what?
I think my thing is though, like, and I don't even know how much out of this was in SEC Media Days or not, but like to me, the big thing for the SEC is going to the 9 game schedule. I saw that I would credit who tweeted this today, but I'm forgetting. So apologies if you're listening. But it was like a screenshot of the injury report heading into the SEC championship game last year of for Georgia and Alabama, and how many guys were banged up going to that game. If you think about it, that was the ninth conference game last year, the SEC championship game. Only Georgia and Alabama played a ninth game. Now everyone's going to play a ninth game, so you got 9 conference games, and then you go to the SEC championship. Like that's a big difference. Um, I mean, frankly, I wasn't even thinking of it that way. Like, I think my standpoint was it's good. Like, if you're gonna have a conference this big, like you need to actually play the teams in the conference. I mean, like, what's the running joke? We still haven't gone to A&M, and we're not going there this year either. Are we? Shoot, I don't even know. I don't think we are. Like, it's just wild. The way that works. So at least we'll rotate through the schools more quickly, but on a season by season basis, I mean, it's a lot of that's a lot of conference football to play, and those in conference games are obviously different than the non-conference ones.
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet that was like, why is the SEC always ranked so high? Well, it's because they play SEC teams. Why are
Yeah.
those why are the SEC teams ranked so high? Well, it's because they play other SEC teams.
Right, right, exactly. Okay, I have not lost my mind. We are still not playing at A&M this year. That's what I thought.
Yeah, no. I was about to say I don't think we are. That's we're gonna have multiple World Cups in the United States before we play in Texas A&M. Oh, that was the joke. That was the joke that has played more games at Texas A&M than Georgia has.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Are we gonna get the Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever the next we got Grand Theft Auto before Georgia went to Texas A&M? Or
Right,
that's ridiculous.
exactly.
Um,
I think it's pretty clear though, for coming out of the SEC, that the SEC media definitely just sees it as a Georgia Texas conference right now.
that's true.
Um, I think that I think what was it? Yeah, Georgia had 88 first place votes as a preseason SEC champion. Texas had 57, and the next closest was Ole Miss with 6. So like
Mm.
by a wide margin, the SEC media views it as a Georgia Texas SEC championship game, which hurts my soul based on what's gone on with that game.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, basically, even in the era of the NIL, and maybe we're not lighting up with the 5-star recruits and all this kind of stuff like we were years ago. Like they still see Georgia as the standard.
yeah. I mean, hey, back to back. Like, I think you, I think you should. I think this is part of also kind of like where my head is at. It's like we went back to back SEC championships, and I feel like all I see on, and I shouldn't care, but like all you see on social media is like, oh, well, Georgia hasn't won a playoff game. It's like, you know, and I think that again, new sport. Um, I still feel like the SEC championship has to mean something. And sure, we didn't technically win a playoff game, but we did quote advance. Like we earned that bye. We did advance to the quarterfinals 2 years in a row. We were there. Um, not a lot of teams that can say that. And shoot, man, this last year, like the both very odd situations in both of those games with everything that went on in New Orleans, from the attack to Kirby's dad. Like that was just a very weird um, situation. And then Trinidad Chambliss went like, I mean, that was an insane performance. Like you don't see that very often, what he did. Um, Still think we should have been able to stop him, but I'm not going to try to relive that.
Jim, I'm having PTSD,
You're just,
man.
it was like the one play when he dropped so far back. Like we could have we had him surrounded and we let him off the hook. But that was just an insane performance. I mean, it's not like we played horribly in that game or anything. Shoot, man, we almost pulled it off with an insane onside kick in the last minute play after Ole Miss had already celebrated because they thought they won twice. Like, but like I don't know, I get frustrated at the um kind of that line of thinking of, oh, Georgia hasn't done anything or whatever. It's like, I mean, no one's beat Georgia for the SEC title in a minute. So
Right. I think it's interesting that Kirby wanted to talk about football and he didn't want to talk about the politics of football. I think that I think what did he say? He
he,
said something like it's like the sport has forgotten what wins games.
mm,
Development still matters, physicality still matters, coaching still matters. Basically just like, he sounded like someone that was tired of hearing what about contracts and collectives, and you know, he's basically like, if you block, tackle, and develop players, you're gonna win.
dude, one of us. Yeah, and okay. Also, I mean, Kirby is like the elder statesman of the SEC now.
Yeah, I think
Um, like
he's
he's
11
he's
years.
yeah. I mean, like he's the voice of the coaches now. Which is kind of also kind of crazy on the time flies, notes.
Right. I mean, it definitely seems like it's going to be more competitive. It'll be interesting. Do you think that the SEC can get multiple teams in?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think yes. The question is how many. Um, Note to Coach Drillbill that could probably be a pretty good preseason over under SEC teams in the playoff in the
Ah, dang
CFP.
it.
Um,
Setting myself up for another loss.
so good. But yeah, yeah. I mean, there'll be multiple in. I think again the question is, man, every year we talk about this. That third place in the SEC seems like a pretty good spot, and it has been the last 2 years. That third place team has done pretty well. So
Certainly seems that way.
yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how the 9 game schedule affects it. You said Kirby wanted to stay out of the politics. I think he generally did, but he didn't he basically say like he'd be fine if the SEC broke off and did its own thing. Um,
I think that they could do that, and I think that it could be something. Uh, it is kind of interesting, the way that everything has been going in all of sports. Um, I mean, you saw most recently, if you're following the soccer world, like is talking about
mm,
privatizing itself. And I
yeah,
had the thought that UEFA is the European body that kind of governs European soccer. If you got, and you can think of them as a conference, right? Like they're the SEC of world soccer, right? If an organization like the SEC decides that it wants to go off and do its own thing, it can if it's got the backing of several other large entities. So in order to do something like that, it would have to be, SEC and the Big Ten. If those two conferences decided to do something, it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to not find some other folks that are trying to jump on board, like teams from the ACC. I'm trying to think, like maybe even some of the, a couple of teams from the Pac-12, like whatever. Like we could create a super conference if they decided that they wanted to get back to the way things used to be.
yeah, and I am not a lawyer, but I read this on Twitter, so it must be true. There's something along the lines of it may have been Graham said this. It was something um, like the NCAA basically can't enforce its own rules because there's like antitrust issues or whatever, but that like that wouldn't be an issue with the conference itself. So like and like if all the schools would just agree on what the rules are, then like you can't really do anything. That's part of the problem. Is like no one's in charge.
Right. You can't spell secede without SEC, Jim.
Like I've always made that joke and it's like, oh my gosh, like is this actually gonna happen? Uh,
I think
cool.
it could. I mean, if they were to package something up, I feel like I feel like the ESPN contracts would probably be the biggest hurdle on some of that stuff because they'd have to get out of those things. I feel like because the structure of all those contracts is probably what's holding everything back.
Um, let's see. We have some listener questions from that we solicited back in April.
Let's hit it, Jim, because I feel like we've kind of reached the end of our rope because
Yeah,
we're coming up on fall practice. We're coming up on the season getting ready to start. I think we're pretty close to being, I think that there's a couple of weekends in August where there's no football, but we're coming up pretty quickly on the last weekends without football.
right. Yeah, yeah, we are. We are. Lily was talking about the Hall of Fame game the other day. Everything's coming up quickly. Okay. Let's do the listener questions. We can start off with 51 to 7 GATA checking in. He said some in the media have suggested that schools should scrimmage other schools during the spring. So like a Power Four versus FCS. Am I the only one that thinks it's crazy to even consider playing another school in the spring game?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, it would easily be a way to make the spring game, a little bit more exciting, I guess, particularly for some of these schools that just make it like an all-star game where they do the competitions and stuff and
Yeah.
don't actually play or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think that it could be interesting. Um, I mean, would you watch Georgia play Georgia Tech and as a spring game. I don't know.
I like that his scenario was like Power Four versus FCS, and you brought up Georgia versus Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
uh, um, so it's a thing that like I used like the first time I heard that idea, like I was like, oh, that would be like so cool. And like because the first way I heard it was like, oh, if Georgia and Clemson can't play anymore, why don't they do a spring game? You know,
There you go.
pretty close to each other, they're right down the road. And it's like it sounds cool. But I don't know. I just don't know what the mechanics of it would be like. Like, who are you going to play in that game? What does it mean? You kind of hope it doesn't quote mean anything, I guess. Like it's not going to factor into the next season in any way, really. Um, like back on the Georgia Tech thing, like remember like the Thanksgiving Day, like the basically the JV game that they used to have.
Hmm.
Like is it would it be kind of like that? I don't know. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but think of it from Kirby's perspective. Like Kirby, I feel like it's probably like no way.
Yeah,
Like
no.
like I'm already trying to like have guys not get hurt playing against our own team. Like I'm not gonna play another team. Like no, thank
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah, I think logistically it would be tough because now you're talking about a team traveling somewhere,
yes,
and
exactly.
then how do they create that for themselves? Now you're talking about playing two teams because I doubt a Clemson or a Georgia Tech is going to give up their home spring game for traveling somewhere to play Georgia or whatever.
Yes, it would have to be
And
like the bye
and
games,
geez
basically.
and geez Louise, can we not do a neutral site game for something like that? Like,
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Let's play at
uh,
Mercedes-Benz again.
that's too funny. Okay, let's see. For this next one, the call is coming from inside the house. At Pal John T checks in and says,
I don't even remember what I said.
uh, longtime listener, not first time caller. What is your favorite BS off-season arrest of all time?
Oh,
Like, did you have something in mind? Because I actually read this before, like when we hopped on, and I couldn't think of anything. I was just gonna say like anything involving a scooter or something, like because that is generally
I must have
what's
had a
happened.
reason for bringing this up. Someone probably got arrested for something. I don't know. Mudcat's car seems kind of crazy.
That legend.
The legend of Mudcat li lives on forever.
Uh, okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. Fletcher Proctor checks in. You can follow
Oh
Fletcher.
wait,
Fletch,
I
do you
remember
have
what
it? You
I
have it?
remember what the no I think I remember what the context was. Wasn't it when I feel like that when I asked this question was around the time when I can't remember the former player, but did
Oh, it was
I can't remember.
Branch.
It was Branch. Yeah, Zachariah Branch got arrested for standing in the
You're standing on the
standing
sidewalk.
standing on the sidewalk. Like, dude, what the heck was that all about?
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. Um, again, like hey, like I said, got drafted with the Falcons, and they were good. And they charges were dropped, like shocking.
Charges were dropped. Shocking.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that's definitely what it was. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. You can follow Fletcher on Twitter at fproctor2122. He changed his handle at some point. Let's see. All right. Fletcher says, with the talent the man has brought in since 2019, is it fair to call Todd Hartley the greatest positional coach in SEC history, excluding head coaches who also oversaw a position? His extended tenure has him over some of the Bama guys. He can recruit, coach them up, and get them drafted.
Yeah, I think that he's definitely up there. I would be curious to know, like, well, I mean, tight end's just different than wide receiver. What's the guy, Hartline? Is that uh,
Mm, yeah,
the wide receiver coach that is no longer a coach at Ohio State, I think?
yeah, yeah,
I can't remember where he went, but yeah, like that was where all the wide receivers went for Ohio State, similar to where all the tight ends go for Todd Hartley. You could probably calculate that based on NFL earnings of all the players that he's put through the has put through the NFL. I mean, I tell you, if you're doing that, like Brock Bowers is probably going to make a huge a huge dent in some of that because I think even the NFL has solidly woken up to the Brock Bowers effect, basically.
yeah.
They're talking about how much of a beast that guy is and totally unassuming, which shout out, I think he just got engaged. I think I saw that on the socials. Um, but yeah, if he's not, I would say he's definitely in the top three.
Yeah. Um, what he has done has been phenomenal, both on the recruiting front and like managing the room, right? Like you've got that many talented guys in the room, being able to get them the ball enough to keep them happy. I mean, like having Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington at the same time and nobody transferred, I like that is impressive.
I mean, I'm
Um,
surprised Lawson Lucky is stuck around as
yeah,
much as he has.
right. Like, yeah, it's not easy to keep all those guys happy. So.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's done a phenomenal job. And he has a run the damn 13 personnel hat. So all right. Let's go to John Michael D. John Michael D checks in and asks, is the equipment team slash the new Glory Glory push in white jerseys and hats a better troll than Kiffin? Hashtag uniform Twitter. So we're further in. Sounds like that might actually happen.
I have some inside sources, Jim.
Okay. Okay.
I have some inside sources. I've been told that they are preparing as if it's going to happen.
Yes. So I'm gonna, yeah, so I agree. I actually don't think it's a troll this time. Like that seems like that was a legit, like they were trying to get more subscribers to Glory Glory. And they threw it out there. Um, my joke was like I wish you would have promised a black jersey. So,
Yeah, yeah. Then I would have, yeah, yeah.
um, but I'm in this dilemma where like, this fall for us, like we're gonna be doing some college visits for Lily and stuff. So like I don't know, like depending on what game this is, like I don't know if I'll see him like in person. Like I don't know. Because I had heard it was gonna be like one of the earlier season games.
Which
And
would
I'm
make
not
sense.
and I'm not sure I'm gonna be at both of those. So there's a chance like we could be somewhere else around the southeast on a college tour. And miss
Right.
it. So I don't know if that makes me a bad fan or anything. But if they were the black jerseys, I'd be like the white helmet. I like old man, get off my lawn. And like we do talk about uniform stuff, or we used to talk about it a lot. And like we enjoy the things. Those aren't the ones for me though.
I would agree with that assessment. But yeah, like I said, the inside sources not only confirmed that they were preparing, but inside sources also confirmed that they're absolutely trolling us.
It's shocking. Yeah, so my thing is I feel like yes, the equipment team is obviously trolling us, especially on Instagram with the reels they post. Um, but I feel like the only person who is unaware of that is like Kirby. Because like I feel like Kirby gets mad when like the media asks him questions and it's like, Kirby, do you follow the equipment team on Instagram? Like then you would understand where all these questions are coming from.
Right. I
Uh,
feel like it's willful negligence because I
yeah,
feel like that he just, yeah.
yeah, I agree. Okay, that's what we have for the listener questions.
Excellent. Well, we're knocking the cobwebs off here for sure. It's been too long, so I think that we'll have a little bit more of a cadence here coming up. So
Yes, yes, yes. That should be the case. We gotta get back in. Yeah, we need to talk. I think us talking, and getting the folks interacting with us. Everyone like help us get caught up on what we missed, and we'll we'll get ready for the season.
exactly, exactly. Well, I know that the fall practice is right around the corner, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's the thing. Like this is that time of year. Like you were saying, like things have ended. The World Cup kind of gave us that little bump. Um, but those last few days of summer, and then it's at least for us, it's basically over for the kids coming back for fall camp. Um, we'll be ready to rock.
Oh, actually, it looks like at least according to Dog Nation, fall camp starts tomorrow.
See?
We totally did that on purpose. This is why we're recording. Fall camp. It's the kickoff to fall camp episode.
Yes, we host a Georgia football podcast.
Yes.
That's kind of case in point on the theme of the episode.
Yeah.
That's too perfect.
Talking season is officially over
Which
tomorrow.
reminds me, which now, okay, so here's the other thing. Like for me, like now, this is when you're gonna start getting text messages, with little clips, that are like, "Hey, how do you feel about this? Hype video is about to about to get started."
Ooh, we got the hype video.
So
I know that there are a lot of folks out there that are going to be excited about them this year's uh exhibit.
I think I have the song picked out. I'm kind of between two, but I think I generally have it. That's usually kind of the last piece before I can really get going. So I think I'm ready.
I'll be excited because I don't even know either of those options.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You will know. You will know. Because I'll be texting you, be like, what do you think about this? Did I do this or this?
I look forward to it. Well, as we turn the page on summer and fall practice officially starts tomorrow, then we'll be good to go.
Let's do it.
All right, man.
Uh,
Well, I'm excited for the season come up. I know we're gonna have the season preview, and it's good to be back. I'm glad that work's kind of opened up a little bit for you, and
yeah.
life has opened up a little bit for me. So, um, go dogs, Jim.
Go dogs.